Hello everyone, welcome back to Vertigo. Today we're going to look at some important terms used in the study of automotive suspension. Race car suspension to be exact. Race cars generally use double wishbone suspension because they provide better control over the dynamic camber and the overall suspension geometry. So before studying the automotive suspension or race car suspension in depth, it's important for us to understand these terms. The terms we're going to talk about in this explanation video are bump and rebound, roll, pitch, and yaw. So first of all, what is bump and rebound? This photo illustrates a car moving over a flat surface without any bumps or potholes. Now, while moving on this flat surface, imagine there's a bump in front of you. Now, I hate using the word in the explanation of the word, but bear with me here. When a car goes over a speed bump, the suspension compresses. The wheels of the car move upwards relative to the body of the car. This is called bump. Now after the bump, this transition from the bump condition where the spring and dampers were compressed to its initial condition where the spring and dampers are not compressed anymore. This transition is called rebound. Now to better explain this point, I will use my vehicle model that I'm working on. It's under process, it's not complete yet, but it's going to help you better understand how bump and rebound works with the spring and dampers. Now keep in mind, this is my attempt at drawing the front view of a Formula car. Hope that's not too confusing, because that would throw this whole thing out the window. Another important term is roll. To explain this, we are going to come back to the diagram which illustrates the car moving on a flat surface. Now when this car takes a turn towards its right, which is the left of the screen, the direction of the turn is also indicated in the illustration. The top of the car would tend to move in the opposite direction. This is because the wheels of the car will try to maintain the grip with the road, which would result in the pivot points trying to push the chassis in the direction of the turn. But the parts of the chassis which are not pivoted to the suspension move in the opposite direction due to inertia. This introduces the term called roll. I will try to include a video to further elaborate my point. I just hope it doesn't get me copyright strike. That wouldn't be cool for my first video, would it? Now to understand the concept of pitch, we would have to move to the side view of the race car. Pitch is the rotational movement of the car when it's viewed from the side. As an example, if you've ever sat in a car, when the driver brakes, the front of the car moves downwards and the rear of the car is raised. Similarly, when the car accelerates, the rear of the car moves downwards and the front is raised. If we let the movement continue, the car would rotate, but it doesn't because of its contact with the road. So this movement is called pitch. In case of braking, when the front of the car moves downwards and the rear of the car moves upwards, this is called dive. And in case of accelerating, when the rear of the car moves downwards and the front of the car is raised, this is called squat. But I know introducing these terms will only make things more complicated. So right now you only need to understand pitch. To understand yaw, we would have to move towards the top view of our car. The rotation of a car when it's viewed from the top is called yaw. A great example of this is drifting. You know, when the car does a little bit of a whee around the corner. That movement is called yaw. Now that concludes our explanation today. Hope you enjoyed watching. If you have any questions, you can leave them down in the comments, and I'll see you in my next explanation video. Goodbye.